Okay, I have 6:30.
Do we concur that it's 6:30? Oh, that was
So we'll go through the,
Good one, Dave.
I do know that there is a football game tonight.
Oh,
Just a football game.
So we will just try to be as efficient as possible in the council meeting so that we can get done and get everyone on their way who may want to go. So we'll run through the regular meeting agenda first. We have the item A, the second reading, it's on, for South Gwinnett Baptist Church on Rosebud Road. Does anybody have any questions or issues with that one?
One thing I went out to look at it because I wasn't really familiar with the church and the property there. And driving back in the back parking lot where you can see the modular unit that they have there, it appears that it's not level, and I was wondering about if the safety of the foundation should be checked.
We're gonna have, as part of the conditions, having the fire marshal re-CO that building and the main building.
So is that something they
Yeah,
would
and
check,
if
the
they don't,
stability of
we'll
the
send Craig
foundation?
out and look at it ourselves, just to make sure. Yeah, they're gonna make sure, especially for fire code. I'll ask them. when
Yeah,
we request
well, I
the
just thought,
inspection.
if we'd have a tornado or something and
And they
that's a
don't,
classroom and.
they don't even use that as a classroom anymore. I think it's mostly for storage, but if the potential exists for them to use it, then it should be right. So we'll look at that. I'll make sure to take a look.
Just take a look and see what you think, yeah.
Does anyone else have any issues? All
It's
right.
pretty much existing, it's just the change of zoning for something that's already there.
Right. And they are doing sidewalks or some, no, they're just
We're-
planting some
well, in
trees and
lieu of,
landscape.
Yeah, having them install that 500 feet plus, they're gonna enhance the front landscaping strip, and really the goal for them was to get a new sign, and in order to do that, they had to bring the zoning into compliance.
Got it, okay. I was wondering what was pushing it. All right, so the next item B is Twan
Gwen.
Gwen. Requesting a change on his property on Main Street. Anybody have any questions or issues with that one?
Is it going to be tree removal?
I'm sorry?
Is there any planned tree removal?
I hope not.
Because there's some big trees in the back.
No, actually, one of the variances they've requested is to leave that middle strip alone,
Right.
in order to stay out of the critical root zone. And if you looked at the property across the back, they've got like a bamboo thicket and then a
Yeah.
lot of mature hardwoods on the edges, so we don't foresee them really doing anything in the rear, more so maybe just a few kind of decorative stuff, because the power lines, you can't really plant
Right.
overstory. And then potentially something there on the side between that and that next residence, but pretty much what's there outside of, the sidewalk and stuff,
Those
everything's.
trees will stay in that strip
You're right.
beside the next
Or-
They
residence.
kind of just
Because they're
share
pretty
those.
mature,
Yeah,
yeah.
they're
Yeah.
good trees, 30, 40-year-old trees, so there's no.
But it's just, they were talking about a building, an additional building, and the only place they could put it would be side, rear, or rear.
Well, they could maybe get it in the rear, but, they won't get into any of those trees.
Jason, what is this on the plan? The thing I have circled.
It looks like the handicap parking area with the stripes, so if you had a
Yeah.
van or something, you could get out to that side and use it to access.
Okay, I just
The
wasn't
ramp
sure what
is
that
actually
was.
in the garage.
And one of the projects on the project list is the 78 sidewalk. I talked to Jason to make sure that they coordinated, because our contractor, we have a pre-con meeting on Wednesday. He'll get started next week probably. So I want to make sure they coordinate the bench placement and everything with the sidewalk contractor.
The sidewalk part, was that the part that they have to give up to the county?
No, that's in the
No.
rear.
That's in
So
the back of
then-
the-
No, they did have there was a condition on the original rezoning that should there be in the future a greenway
green
path
thing,
that
yeah.
goes through there, that they would offer an easement or something like that. If we're talking my knowledge, I'm not sure that pathway, looking at the new, what is it, the 2045 Greenway Master Plan, I don't think that's
I don't think
exists
that's one
anymore.
in there.
Yeah, I looked at what they put up, I didn't see anything on there, so I was curious about that.
I don't know, really, there must have been some talk about it at the time of adoption, so we included it. Their first time.
Anything else? The next one is CUP 1705, Zoton Christian Church. That's where
New
New
Jerusalem.
Jerusalem was. It's been vacant. New church wants to move in, so it's just the conditional use permit.
Yeah, we're gonna actually have them, do some improvements there on Dogwood because the potential for pedestrian traffic is a lot more heavy there, and, there's a little buffer issue there next to the adjoining residential with some plantings, but outside of that, they're pretty much, use that building as is.
Why, just help me understand this, the other church were rezoning from RS 180 to CI.
Right?
This one, we're keeping it as RS 180.
A lot of
with a-
times-
With a conditional use. Now, I mean, it just seems like this is a property that's probably never gonna go residential. Why would we keep it residential?
Well, I mean, there's two ways to go with the CI zoning. There's typically, in this case, we had already had it marked on the comp plan for civic institutional use, land use. So at this point, all they had to do was ask for the rezoning in the CUP for the modular desk, and in the long term, they'll have more flexibility to expand the church. They won't have to come back to you guys every time they do something. That's the advantage of being in the CI, whereas on this property, it's a little bit smaller, and then we wanted to the CUP is also less laborious on the actual church applicant too, because in that case, they would have had to do a future land use plan, a rezoning, and then those are multiple actions. So in a case like that, really, it's the easiest path in the CUP, and it may change in the future if they took half of it could go commercial and the other half could be residential, and it goes with the church. So if the church leaves and somebody wants to do something, and that's kind of what we see in these smaller areas, is they usually outgrow them and move. So if the church leaves, then there is a better plan, they can come back and, you guys get to see it. So it just allows a little more foresight, unless you really wanted that property to just always be a civic institutional use. We could identify that during the next comp plan, and then it can be rezoned easily in the CI. So it's just kind of whatever the long range of the.
I just
land
didn't
use
quite
is.
understand the
Yeah, it's
difference
kind
in
of
the two.
convoluted, we're gonna clean that up in the UDO too. And part of that church ordinance will actually, kind of weed some of those smaller properties out.
Yeah. The other question I had was, I noticed when I went there and drove around the back, there is a shed there now, but their plan shows 2 accessory structures behind the building.
I don't think they plan on, adding any additional stuff, but I'll let you talk to them.
Okay.
We'll ask them when we get there.
Because I was just wondering, there again, like I know in residential, don't you have to go to the Board of Appeals if you add a second accessory structure in residential?
It's dependent on, it depends on the acreage, and I think it's like 2 acres or more you can have over one, but it has to be a certain square footage total, like 750 square feet.
Okay.
So they'd still have to bring it to us, and they can still have it. I'm not sure what the intent of that is on the site plan anyways.
That's existing, that's not proposed.
Both of them, Robert?
Yeah, both of them.
There's
Just
two?
one there, though. There's just one.
Maybe that, they
They
knocked
might
that
have
one
taken
down
it out,
some.
this came from an earlier
Okay,
survey that
Okay.
I've gotten that from, so it may have been taken out. So
okay, so there's only the one. We don't have any intentions to add. a
Okay,
second.
okay.
That's a good eye.
Okay, anything else? And we have item D, which is our changes to the zoning ordinance for churches and places of worship. Anybody have any questions or issues there?
Kind of talked it through a couple of times.
All right, then the only other thing, well, we have, the change for the farm wineries, under new business. Anybody? And then the mayor pro tem election, which is just the annual election that we need to do every year. For, council reports, I'm not gonna name anybody, I'm not gonna go down the line, so I'll just say if anyone has any council reports and jump in there. If I don't hear from you,
Well, I've got a
Well-
10-minute video.
so we'll save that till after we adjourn.
Okay.
And you can show it to whoever you
You
want.
can show it to the empty room.
Do that in the public comment section.
There is, and I'm trying to look, and I have to apologize because I printed off what I wanted, and I left it at home on the printer. One of these zonings, I just wanted to make a point that on the conditions or the variances, there was one that the planning commission did something different than what the planning
Yeah,
department.
that was the,
Which one was that?
Mr. Nguyen, and what
Okay.
happened with that is they had requested that landscape strip reduction without any kind of justification, so we, just in general denied it based on, we wanted the 5-foot, strip there, and kind of pushed the curb out to make it work. Well, once they, the applicant showed up and gave the reasoning for why they didn't want to do any disturbance there, we were okay with it, so the planning commission basically added the suggestion that we accept that variance to leave it alone so the trees didn't get bothered, so we were
Okay.
okay with that.
So-
That's the only change.
The main thing is, when you, whoever's gonna make a motion on it, make sure you specify whether it's this,
We'll just reference the ordinance.
okay,
Because
because
that's
it's,
how we know those,
It's
all
correctly on
those
the
changes
ordinance.
have been incorporated into the ordinance.
okay, very good.
What's the reason you want to go to a 20-foot buffer in the back as opposed to 50-foot?
Because it's already there, basically, because it's an older home and it was residential at one time, I guess the backyard's probably not even 60 feet deep because, the buffer is already there, it's probably not 20 feet, but I mean, it's robust.
But it's just
with
whatever's
bamboo.
existing.
Right, and that's what the other one too, I think 4 houses were granted at, 50 feet would be like basically off the back porch.
Okay. All right, so that's the regular meeting, so we'll go to the work session agenda. Any correspondence?
No, ma'am.
Any city attorney report?
Just really the executive session.
And we'll hold that till after the regular meeting. All right, review of Patel's shell improvement.
The several representatives of the Patel family and their representatives are here. They have put a lot of time into planning improvements to the area behind their service station, service and convenience store, which currently is city property. And had a chance to meet a couple times and go over what I felt like the mayor and council would be interested in seeing. And I think they've done a very good job in the proposed improvements that they want to make back there on an easement that is yet to be drafted. And there are I guess one of the main goals is to get access around the whole building. There will be a new 24-foot wide driveway behind the building that people can utilize. The whole lot will be resurfaced and restriped, but the improvements in the easement area basically very much match our LCI improvements. We're talking about lighting, the same kind of fixtures we have in our pedestrian amenity area, benches, beautification, sod, and that will be seasonal planting. They're also talking about a couple of picnic benches on the, I guess, the west side of the driveway up against the building. And there are, basically, it would delineate an entrance. Right now, it's kind of wide open as far as Oak Road is concerned. The curb would connect to the area to the east, to Mr. Stevens' property, I guess, is it not? And I think that when I was talking about this earlier, guys, we had a question about the improvements on Oak. What was the, I'd forgotten, what was the intention out there on Oak in the, currently I guess the drive on the north side there? Would that be sidewalk?
We're talking about,
Yes.
Down through
right here. Yeah, there won't be any sidewalk, but I noticed that there is a broken curb there, so we're gonna fix that. And on other side, also there's a broken curb, so we're gonna replace that.
Okay, so curb and gutter there?
Yeah,
Okay.
at the entrance on both the sides.
So the entrance, if somebody comes down Oak Road, they'll come in here and go around.
Yeah, right now. This is already paved area up to this point. And then this is all broken concrete, old road.
So this is just a curb basically? Curb and then asphalt and then road? Is that what this is?
Well, it is right now curved up to this point, but at this point it is broken a couple of feet, so we're gonna fix that. But inside the property, we're not gonna put the curb and gutter.
So in the future, this is gonna be asphalt, curb, street?
Yeah, it's already asphalt up to this point,
Okay.
and there's little grass strip.
They're just gonna fix the edge where it's broken down, leave the existing.
Now, there'll be inter-parcel access here with the bank, or there
There
will
won't
not be?
No.
So you won't be able to go from the bank through here out to Oak, I guess?
No, there's another drive right behind that.
Yeah.
Behind
There's another
Mr.
drive to
Stevens'
connect
property, I
it.
think.
Okay.
So the interparcel access is only gonna be for future, complete development, I'm guessing? Like from bottom up, is when we're only gonna require it?
Yeah, because they're not doing anything to change what's existing, they're just cleaning up their own property.
Okay. That's what I know, so in the future, when other things come up, I know when it's supposed to be.
Yeah, if somebody bought this and wanted to knock it down and do something else.
Okay.
So all the changes will be like landscape change, will there be any changes to the building itself? No?
And I know you've had several conversations with Shell. They've approved all this?
Yeah.
It's already curved.
Right, yeah.
You see it, Roger?
Okay, so, yeah.
Yeah, see,
So
this is
there
what they're
is
talking
not
about
gonna be any
fixing.
sidewalk there?
No, they're just gonna clean this up here, clean this up here, and clean this up. It's gonna be,
Yeah.
Whoops. I lost it. I got Siri.
Don't touch the button.
Siri, show me a aerial
Siri,
view.
show me the aerial view of the Shell station.
Sitting on the benches. Get there walking.
You're not moving
That's,
that for a little bit.
Customers, I guess.
So what are next steps? If everybody's okay with with this? I mean, this doesn't come
We'd
from.
just have Tony and Chuck draft the easement language.
We need to look at the site plan a little bit,
Okay.
too, and run it by the engineer, and I'd like to see a couple trees on there too. That's not a problem.
Yeah.
And they're not required to put sidewalks in.
I mean, any other kind of development would require sidewalks, but if they're repairing a right of way, I mean, that's our property.
Yeah, I think the big thing to note is that proposed driveway there that they're doing behind their building, that's really the city's right of way. It's an extension of North Road.
I mean, they could not do it
Oh, I
without
see.
the.
So
of
we
the
have
easement.
to, the whole deal is we have to grant them an easement
Oh,
to do that
to be able to
development
do
on
that.
cities right of way. And they're willing to do that and pay for it.
And
So-
maintain it and be responsible for it.
Yeah, so that's the thing, we just don't wanna lose in the big picture of what we're looking at.
Okay, now I
Yeah,
So
understand.
how many Leland cypress they gonna need to put there?
25 at least.
Always the question.
He didn't get you this.
so, you know, unless anybody has any, big disagreement with this, then Jason, y'all do what you need to do next, take a closer
Just
look at it.
ensure, verify the curves and all that, and then do a little cursory landscaping review, and there won't be any issues.
Okay,
I'm gonna start going ahead and get you
Working on it,
Yeah.
Yeah. We'll meet back with you guys, go over the site plan and look at the language. Okay?
So will this be up on the next voting?
yeah, with the easement, do we have to vote on that to allow that?
Yes. Oh, yeah, you'll have to. Yeah. So we'll try, I'm not sure if we'll be ready for the 22nd or not, but we can try.
This will do our best.
I mean, it's not.
Depends on how late the game is.
Two weeks.
Okay, and then our project update?
We do have a need for an executive session on the town center issues. The RFP for the library and market building design is out. There is a pre-bid meeting on January 23rd. Public relations, marketing, I've asked Chrissy to put that topic on the agenda, and I know you guys probably got an email today from Chrissy with asking for some information. The more you can provide, the better we're gonna be on that Saturday. We'll have plenty of time to talk about everything. Town hall meetings, once again, I mentioned it to GDOT last week, that they're aware of the interest that we have before construction really heats up, having that next town hall meeting. The UDO, we've lost a very good employee in our planning department in Marlene Temple. So Jason will be interviewing over the course of the next week or 10 days. It puts us probably about a week behind when it comes to reviewing the UDO. And so I imagine we'll have an update meeting with Caleb and TSW and probably Pond by the end of the month. Roundabout construction, we've got a couple of things probably to discuss in executive session there. So we can update you on where the closings and the condemnation stands. 78-124, you have an update on the back of your project update. Basically, they're continuing to work and tear up some ground and put in pipe in the right of way. They're gonna be on, I guess, in the northwest corner of the project over the course of the next 2 weeks.
Coach, just a quick add to that, so it's out there, but he indicated to me that somewhere late February, March, they'll start into full construction of the intersection.
Well, we need to push that town hall meeting up then a little bit.
Yeah.
So we'll do that. And I think they are getting a little, they've done some work, but they've got a time frame. So I think they're getting a little antsy about that. So I'm not surprised that Robert wants to push that up. Did you take care of your issue with them?
Well, after about 6 phone calls with everybody, we did.
Okay, okay. We just wanted to make sure
Everybody
that
wanted responsibility.
they're hiring city police officers. This is a company that's done a lot of work out in the county. You know, they have a relationship with the county PD, but we wanted to make sure in the city, our folks are getting the traffic control work, off-duty work. Not really an update on the business retention and attraction, or the SPLOST program, or higher education outreach on the 78 sidewalk. Like I said earlier, the contractor is Autoco. That it's one of those firms that in the downturn 2008, 2009, a lot of people went out of business. A lot of people are getting back together again, forming new alliances, new companies, and are being very aggressive on their bidding. So we have a meeting, pre-con meeting with the contractor on Wednesday, and they'll start work next week on the 78 sidewalk. So, and I think they'll do a good job.
Okay, anybody have anything else?
Gwinnett Chamber of Commerce dinner,
Yes.
February
thank you.
2nd. Any thoughts? We going? What's the story?
Yes, I mean, if whoever wants to go, I think we get tickets. I think last year we got a table, but
Yeah,
we ended
usually.
up having 2 or 4 empty spots.
Yeah, we have
So-
trouble filling up a table.
Yeah.
So.
So I'm thinking whoever wants to go, just let Butch know.
I'm in.
Okay.
How many?
1.
Two.
I've got probably 2 other places if we want to save the money.
What
I'm
now?
on the bicentennial committee,
Mm-hmm.
and they have a table, and they've invited everybody on the county's dime.
So you don't need a ticket?
No, I really don't.
Okay. Roger and Christie, we
Might
need
as well
to.
save the money.
What happens at this Gwinnett Chamber?
It's a nice dinner. It's a nice
It's
chance
It's
to
the prom for
network.
Gwinnett County.
Networking.
Yeah, it's awards.
It's a what?
It's the prom for Gwinnett
Oh, the
County.
prom for Gwinnett County.
And you can get your nails done that day.
They don't have a
It's-
speaker.
It's really
You
nice.
dress
and
up,
it's-
it's black
Yeah.
tie optional, but it's all of the,
It's,
I better not.
yeah,
but it's I mean, it's a really
It's a really
good
nice
event.
Yeah.
It's become like a really huge event. I mean,
Awards
there'll be a
dinner
lot of
mostly.
elected officials there, a lot of county representatives, you know, a lot of people from the chamber. John Richards is actually getting the
right.
Wayne Shackelford Legacy Award.
Oh,
He's one of 4 people
nice.
receiving that. So, it's a really,
Yeah, it's a nice
I
time.
mean, really, it's a very nice dinner, it's a great chance to network and, you know, shake hands, and
Mm-hmm.
it's,
Just get faces to go with names.
and then it's a
Get
short
sense of some
awards,
things, yeah.
Yeah.
thing, so, it's well worth the time
Oh, yeah.
to go.
And I think everybody is set. I think we're okay on the other, the state of the county. I think we know who's coming, going to that.
Yeah, I said I was going to that.
I think we're set on that.
Okay.
Okay.
And Gretchen, you might not know about that either. There's a lunch that's the State of the County address, and Charlotte Nash does the county commission.
What day is that?
So it's a lunch at the Infinite Center.
We sent the,
It's January. But it's a lunch at the Infinite Center, and that's another good event to go to. You got the county commissioner kind of laying out what happened last year and where they're going for this year.
Okay.
It's February 14th.
yeah, just respond to
Valentine's
Ann.
Day.
Valentine's Day, that's right.
Lunch at Valentine's Day.
See, and you'll know you have a seat
Mm-hmm.
somewhere, you already got a reservation.
11:30.
There was which you sent an email out today about going out to dinner on the,
Yeah, I think
Work
we'll have
session.
to forego that.
because
Aw.
that's the
There's
same,
a-
well, it's the same night as
Yeah.
the
Oh,
We
yeah.
got too many
volunteer of the
conflicts, I
year.
guess,
Yeah,
for that.
that's what I was gonna,
I love Three Blind Mice.
So
yeah, I do too.
Sunday brunch?
Oh, Sunday brunch.
Well, we could do a Friday night
Oh, Friday night
we
would
could do
be.
Friday night, a A dinner
A
What am I
preview.
trying to say?
Pre-dinner.
Can't get my brain engaged.
Pre-event dinner.
Pre-event dinner.
Pre-event.
All right, well, I'll send something out then tomorrow, and let us know. Yeah.
That'd be great. I'm in.
What, you want to start on the 16th?
Yeah.
Start on that Monday. Okay, so February 2nd. I'll hang out with you and Brittany. Be my date.
All right.
Since Dave's ditching us.
So
Just can't
put
go.
on
the chamber?
2 tickets for
Well, you're gonna be at a
the
different table, right?
chamber dinner.
It's gonna be a different table.
So me, Dave, Roger, and Christie. Gretchen, did you want to go to the chamber dinner?
You think I should?
You're the newbie, get introduced around.
Okay.
Okay,
Okay.
so that's everybody. Okay.
How much are the tickets?
175 or
Phew.
something like that.
Be worth it to be my date.
Right, we just need an executive session.
Okay, all right. With nothing else, during the work session of the mayor and city council of Snellville, Georgia, Mayor Pro Tem Bender announced that certain matters should be discussed in
Another one.
closed session of the meeting and asked